Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
All right, so this is basically kind of part two of the first video we did today, which was talking about Tucker Carlson's statement that they're not aliens, they've always been here, and then sharing what we had picked up in the past that we're revisiting about the Galactic Treaty that appears to be up in 2025. So that's up on Patreon, it's on Evolutionary. This one's going to go up on EEARTS. And, this one we'll try to keep to about a half hour-ish, as the last one was 38:45. And we wanted to give you guys breakdown in little pieces to digest this information.
Well, it's nice, to bring in that understanding in a way where, because it's a lot of information and it does cast quite a wide net, but I think it's very important information because it speaks to where we are from. I mean, who we are, what we're about, and this is what this whole world is all about. It's about us remembering who we are. That's the crux of spirituality. That's spirituality at its best. And I do enjoy being able to peek into our past and give little nuggets of information for people to hopefully grab onto if they're ready and have that understanding and know exactly who they are and how important their time is on Earth right now to help others wake up.
Absolutely. And for those that might be newer to the channel, Cindy, again, is somebody that has unusual gifts for this age, but for other ages when humans are more fully realized, it's just typical, and we can all do these things. And right now, there's an awakening going on that's incredible. And we have many people that we speak with on a bi-weekly basis. That seems to be the most common for coaching and for energy work, etc. And we're seeing them blossom and have these type of abilities where they could tap into the things that Cindy is tapping into. There are more and more people awakening on this planet every single day. And you don't see that in the mainstream news.
I know, and when I do see it with those that we work with, and they're like, well, I was able to do this, and this other thing happened, and I just find it so exciting. It just tickles me that we can help people understand themselves and understand the world that they live in to a higher degree, because we're here to have an experience and for growth. And when that growth happens, it just feels so good.
It sure does. So what we want to delve into on this one is a look into the past and some of our hidden history. This is Gobekli Tepe, which is one of the most interesting places on the planet that's been uncovered in our times. And this dates back, they say, about 11,000 years or so. This dates back to right after the massive cataclysm that was known to us as the Younger Dryas extinction event. And that is, in my opinion, and I think Cindy does agree, that is really the story that we're given in the Sumerian text, where it says that Enlil says there's too many humans, they're too noisy, they make a ruckus, they're just out of control, let's wipe them out. And, this is that event this is completely my opinion and understanding. Again, I do think it is speaking of the same event. I do think there have been many, obviously, resets of humanity throughout time to varying degrees. But this one was one in which it wiped out a huge majority of the life on the planet. And the only reason that some of the life survived was because it was guided by non-human intelligences into places that would make it through the cataclysm. And perhaps also some beings were taken up off planet, in fact, and brought back to planet, as well as led into the earth, into the caverns. Like when we're talking about Gobekli Tepe, where is this? Well, this is over here. See where this little arrow is right here? This little spot right here, right in the middle of where it says cattle, about 10,000 years ago, that's where Gobekli Tepe is. And so it's in that area that we all learn about in school, the Fertile Crescent. This is where the soil was good. The rivers were there going through this deserty area. And you could grow things and do quite well, actually. You could do quite well in this area. Right above this area is an area that's very mountainous and that has a massive amount of caves and some of the most just fascinating cave systems that we see on this planet. Well, tens of thousands, if not more, people survived through the Cataclysm by going into those caves and then later emerging. It shouldn't be surprising that they emerged from the cave systems up in the mountains, made their way back down into the more fertile areas as things were settling down to see, what the heck happened here, and to restart civilization. And this was a restarting of civilization. Part of the reset was about, again, dumbing down humanity, taking away the memories that were not serving the controller's purpose. The understanding of extraterrestrials being amongst us, of high technology being out there, where the average people living on the planet were living much more of a subsistence type of life in more harmony with nature. Yet they saw coming and going beings of much, much higher technology and understanding. And these were the beings that got designated as the gods, which they're not gods per se. They're just beings with more advanced understanding and technology. So this was a restart after a massive, massive global horrible extinction event.
So this is something that the information came in last night when we were looking at skulls, and I don't know how far away we are from that, but just to kind of speak to the information that did come in, and we'll fill it in as we go along on the video. But this is one of the very first, I guess we'll call it civilizations, or one of the very first cities that was made that brought humans together to teach them things about herbs, to teach them things about healing, to teach them things about art, to really bring them together and bring them to a place where they could start to evolve on their own. I guess I can call it a catalyst. This was a catalyst for who we are and where we are at today. And the energy that I get when I reach back to this time is actually, it's a very positive one. It's one where we're going through a really rapid expansion. Say, when a baby is in the womb, the most rapid growth is that 9 months in the womb. I mean, it's so expansive and it is so fast. And I can say with humanity, this was the time in the womb where we were taught so many things that we know today, except for there's another side of things that have taken a lot of those teachings astray for other people's benefit, not our own. But this is a seed. This is a seed that is so important to our being, and it's so important as far as who we are. I found it really exciting to know that so much of who we are today is directly tied to this area right here. I think if I do one thing in this life, it's probably going to go visit Gobekli Tepe. I would really, really enjoy that. And also when we go visit places of our own history, the downloads and the information you get when you're there in the 3D, when your feet are on the ground, your hands are on those pillars, you're able to really recall this information to a very high degree. Yes, you can do it away, because I'm doing it now. I'm reaching back and pulling in information. But to me and my experiences in life, going back to those places where we once lived in the 3D when we took on another body, oh man, those are the uploads and downloads that you really, really want to bring expansion in this life. So it's fun looking into this. Sirius, I got to say something about Sirius. The star Sirius, so we have a very dear friend that we've been working on for about 3 years. And she was at a fair, and she saw a particular crystal that's very special. And this crystal she's a talker. I mean, she just talks and talks. And she told our friend that we work on, she's like, I need to see Mike and Cindy. I have to go see Mike and Cindy. So we ended up with this very beautiful crystal. And she's so special. And I everyone that we work on gets a little piece of this crystal. And I named her Sirius after the star Sirius. So this is a story that's been unfolding for about a month and a half, where this crystal, she definitely assists in the opening of the pineal gland. She assists in helping people connect to their origins. And she has been so helpful. Sometimes people will meditate on her and they get answers to things in life that have been, a bit of a stumbling block at times. She has been so instrumental in connecting people to the crystal grid, those family members that are supposed to be connected. And if it's time for them to wake up, she's been instrumental in that. And she's, like I said, she's a talker. She does not stop. She talks to me. She'll talk to you. She'll talk to Mike. When I'm doing sessions and readings on people, she'll talk to me then too. If there's something that someone needs to know, she'll tell me. Last night, she actually interrupted. We're trying to make a video, and she interrupted because she wanted to get something across. So, I mean, crystals do speak, I don't want to, gender. They have genders, and she is of a feminine gender. She's an elder crystal. She's very wise, and she's here for a very deep purpose. And I think her energy ties into this whole video that we're doing today as well.
So, again, you've said before crystals are elders.
Yes.
And so share.
Oh, yes. The crystals are our elders. Stones are our elders. I don't know if you guys ever remember, but if you go when you were little, walking around and looking for special rocks, and a certain rock might stick out to you that you thought was so special and so wonderful, you're tapping into your origins. You're tapping into the elders. The rocks are speaking to you, and they carry so much divine wisdom. Some speak more than others, and this crystal Sirius here, she speaks a lot, but it's her purpose. And the reason she was telling our friend to get her to me is because she wanted to reach more people. It was time for her to reach more people. So she is serving her purpose. So everyone that we touches this crystal, and the crystal gives information out that is necessary for the awakening. And I just find it so fascinating, the timing of all of this, and those that she works with and she touches. And I think she is part of a bigger soul stream too. I think she's pulling us all together, tying us into this crystal grid, because this is where we're going. We're headed to a more crystalline type of a structure, and she's helping with that.
So lots of interesting things to get across. And when we look at this, the Gobekli Tepe's central pillars set with circular enclosures would have framed the rising of the dog star Sirius at different points in time. Absolutely what this is a remembrance of our roots. That is a big part of it. And at that point in time, let's maybe take a step backwards. When we talk about that cataclysm and the fact that it's mentioned in the Sumerian texts, and we're given the name of Enlil as the one that wanted to have this cataclysm happen on Earth, and then you have Enki, who didn't want to wipe out everything. Now, make no mistakes about it, both of them view humans as less than and used humans. And again, I do think at some point in time when they do roll out the progenitors of our species per se, and they say, here are your galactic parents. They'll do a good cop, bad cop type of thing. And, again, there are myths and legends, which I think are based in truth, absolutely, all around the entirety of the globe. Every single tribe speaks of understanding that there are beings that were amongst us, the quote-unquote gods, who had just simply advanced technology and understanding, who were our teachers. So when you look back to the book of Enoch, per se, you get this little reference in Genesis 6, and then you could expand on it in the book of Enoch. Again, it's coming from the controller's perspective, and that's the thing to realize. Even the Sumerian tales are still coming from the controller's perspective, albeit they give us a lot more detail than we have gotten out of the Bible or the Quran, absolutely. Yet, what we have here is who are the, let's call them Nibiruans, and not go off on too big of a tangent. Who are they? Who are the ones that we call the Anunaki? Because Anunnaki is a very broad term. And there are all sorts of different species. You'll see Anunnaki that look avian. You'll see Anunnaki that look reptilian. You'll see those that look completely Nordic. You'll see those that look like they come from Africa, and you would not even be able to tell barely the difference. You'll see those representing all the different races and representing humanoid/hybrid species as well. Why would you have so many different people on Nibiru? Well, because again, Nibiru is populated by refugees of the war. This is a galactic war that involves multiple star systems. It involves many, many different planets. In fact, this war did not even truly originate in a sense in our universe. Because what we have is beings coming from an alternate, a different universe, utilizing a wormhole of sorts, utilizing technology that they're using in CERN right now to open portals to other, not just other dimensions and other planes of existence in this universe, but other universes. And so it's kind of mind-blowing to understand the bigger picture. And yeah, it could be kind of terrifying to wake up and all of a sudden, you realize that your reality is that there is a war, the world's underway. And it's much bigger than just Earth. Earth is a tiny, tiny little speck, a little outpost. If we use a Star Wars perspective, it's like we're on Tatooine, an insignificant little planet in a sense. But yet this planet is a microcosm of the macrocosm. So, we have all these different humanoid species on the planet because they're galactic migrants, they're galactic immigrants. The same thing that's happening right now with immigrants going from one country to another is still going on a galactic scale with people going from one planet to another. So refugees from the war ended up settling on Nibiru and populating Nibiru. But then, unfortunately, the dark control system, which is AI led, and at the top of the food chain underneath the AI are the Draco. They ended up basically conquering those people, or though you could view those people as being assimilated into that dark empire. And so, that and their DNA is in us. And so this is the rise of what was happening naturally on the planet. And we could tap into those energies as our angelic side. And we can also tap into the DNA from the beings that fell to the dark empire as our dark the guy with the pitchfork on the other shoulder. So we have both of those energies in us, competing for our attention and trying to win us over. When you see this and the alignment with Sirius, this is going back to the recreation point of Earth from the remnants of Tiamat. And Tiamat was destroyed in this war, and the biggest part of Tiamat became the Earth, and it was through terraforming and the super consciousness that happened. And we are living on a remnant of Tiamat at this point in time. But it was those that we would call the Galactic Foundation that were actually created in that point in time and came here to Earth, and many from Sirius as well were amongst those from other places that came and reseeded Tiamat as Earth with all the life that we now see.
And Gobekli Tepe being one of the very, very first energies put on the earth as a plan to help humans evolve, to help them evolve to a certain point. Now, I also picked up that karmically, this is necessary. This is something that the other bigger energies, they understand these things. So karmically, it's something that needs to be done to come, and this gives us choices. This gives us options to what path are we going to take. So many people I see, they're healers, and they head down the path of being a DR, and they're following their heart, but then they learn the ways of the institution that entraps so many people. So to me, that's very heartbreaking. Some of them, when they do wake up, very few of them actually go in a different direction. Too many of them stay where they're at, where they know and they understand that, hey, this is not real healing. This is just something where they're covering up symptoms. And because they cover up the symptoms, the body is still continuing to be ill. That's their choice. So this is something that gave us choices.
When we go back to Star Wars and that Luke, I am your father, that Darth Vader, which literally means dark father, and who is Darth Vader? Well, he's serving the evil empire, right? He's serving the Dark Lord of the Sith, who, again, you can look at and see, besides looking a lot like George Soros, he has kind of this very disfigured look to him, almost reptilian, certainly not pleasant to look at. But what was Darth Vader's first name? Anakin, right? Anakim is a type of giant in the Bible, and obviously it comes from the root of Anunaki. So what they're telling us there is humanity, who is your father? Your father is the Anunnaki. This is the message of Star Wars.
Yeah. So, so much of what we see is a big part of our story. And I think that's a secret that's well kept, but it's also right out in plain sight. And where better to hide something than in plain sight.
Yeah, so again, in case you've never put that together, yes, that's what they're telling us. So the point of Star Wars is, yes, they're letting us know there is a galactic war underway, and that our father on that side of the DNA family is the Anunnaki, the Anakim. And, at the same time, what else are we told? Well, Luke says, I know there's good in you still. So here, this is what they're telling us in Star Wars. You're going to get to meet your father. You're going to see the Anunnaki. And yes, they are part of the Dark Empire, but there's still good in them.
Right. And this is where we get to sit and decide, where are we at in the energy field? Their duality is everything. Duality is very important. Duality pushes life forward, but it's more about that energy that you want to feed. What do you want to feed? Do you want to feed that's going toward the light? Do you want to feed your spiritual abilities, or are you going to feed more into the 3D? And, some people do choose to come down here and excel in the 3D world, and some people want to come here and they want to excel, with their spirituality and excel with their gifts and bring that part of things into their soul. It really does come down to our choice, and the traumas that they do put us through, the traumas that are deliberately placed in front of us, that can waylay us in different ways.
Yeah. And so, I want to go over this because it just is hitting me that we're going to have to maybe go a little different route and on this video, but this is good because this is just me here in the higher self saying these things. What is Anakin? Anakin was a very, very gifted person that couldn't control his emotions, especially his fear. And, if you remember Yoda, fear leads to hate. Hate leads down to the dark side. And so it's his fear of losing the love of his life, Padme, who he almost killed and did kill, end up killing. And it just shows you how we need to control our emotions as, this little boy turns into something very, very dark, but then at the last moment ends up throwing the evil emperor down in the hole. And what is his salvation of his life after Obi-Wan beats him in a duel? Well, he's turned into half machine, half man. This is their plans for humanity. This is the merger with the Borg. So this Star Wars Skywalker saga is all our saga. This is telling us, and it's connecting with most people's subconsciousness, even if they don't recognize it. Consciously, it is connecting with your subconsciousness. And you're recognizing that this is our story, because who are the Anunaki? Well, this is who they are. They are They are part of the Borg. They have technology in them. Now, interestingly enough, we have the potential to have what you would call much more psychic powers than they do because of our natural component and our connection to the divine feminine side that they have lost contact with. They are a patriarchal society. And this is why patriarchal society is dominant on the planet in these times. Because that's who the patriarchal lineage comes from. It's coming from, again, the Anunnaki, the Anakim, the dark side, so to speak. And this is why the matriarchal society and our matriarchal lineage has been cut off and has been so trivialized. And this is why they have suppressed the divine feminine side, because this will connect us to the earth. When we reconnect with the divine feminine, we will start to get the real story, because we'll be able to tap into the earth and everything that is nature, and the elementals and the stones and the crystals will tell us the truth of what has happened.
That's right. That's a very important thing to know, who and what really talks to you, who and what is telling you the truth. To go out into the forest, to go out to the beach, to be next to a creek, to be next to the water. These are conversations that we're having with other energies around us, and that's really been lost. Our ability to tap into nature and hear what nature is trying to tell us, hear the information that runs through us is so important for us to find And remember who we are, that nurturing ability. The mother nurtures, the earth nurtures. She gives life, she gives healing, she brings comfort, the comfort of just sitting by a stream and watching the water flow, the comfort of hearing the wind go through the trees and hearing the leaves rustling, the nourishment that fruit and vegetables bring to our bodies. This is the mother. This is the mother. And they've just disconnected us to such a high degree. And again, it goes back to our conscious choice to reconnect with her.
Yeah, Darth Vader again literally translates into dark father. So, yeah, absolutely. This is all what this story is telling us. And this is the reality. As I've said so many times, our reality really is much more like Star Wars than most people really understand.
Definitely.
So we will pick up again where we left off with another video, as I want to give you these in easy to digest pieces. We look forward to your comments. Thanks for your support on Patreon. Much love, Source bless, and namaste.
Namaste.